back 101 weeks ago when we started this journey. I had promised everybody that we would work on our text skills, our TEXT. People wanted to get their handwriting better. People wanted to see faces, fire, water. I have not forgotten any of those promises that I made. So, this is a week that we are just going to delve into um, a text representation and just have fun with it. And I want to say that I have my video sped up about 8 times. And I know it looks like this does not take any time at all to do and that it is a very easy thing. I do want you to know that me doing this one, it was about a 45-minute journal entry today to get this text out. So it still is. It's still training your eye. It is still training your eye and your hand to do what it wants it to do. It still takes control. So I don't know. I think that sometimes folks just think it looks easy and they think that, oh, that's nothing. But do it and take your time and have fun with it still. Do you know what I mean? So this is our text for this week. Pay attention to your shading. Pay attention to your little details. Pay attention to the scriptures because, oh, this is a Psalm of David. And just to give you a little bit of background on this week's Psalm, David comes into a nation that is divided and disheartened. And this psalm could almost be read as Leadership 101. What does a leader look like? What is a godly leader? How does that look? Well, you guys know that David is like my hero of the Bible. And one of my personal faves, I'm hoping my mansion is just right next door to his in heaven. I think I've probably told you this, that I'm afraid of John the Baptist. I don't think I want to be close to his house. Gonna be chomping on locusts up there, and I'll be like, ah. So leadership 101. I love that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I count 9 times that David speaks about I will. And now I know that we could say that David made mistakes. David made mistakes with Bathsheba. David made mistakes with his generals. He made mistakes with Bathsheba. He made mistakes with raising his children. The Bible is fraught with the mistakes of David. But David had a heart after the Father. David had this heart David had a repentant heart. When he made a mistake, he just dropped before the Father and he just begged for forgiveness. We are going to make mistakes. We are going to get drawn into things. But I think what I concentrated this week on Psalm 101 was, how do we protect our hearts, our minds, what we hear? How do we protect what we allow into our heart? And do we despise things that might move my heart away from the Father? Do we despise those things? And for the printable, that's what brought me to that see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. But let me read to you David's I will statements. Think about being a leader. Think about it being a leader in your church groups. Think about being a leader in your women's ministry. Think about being a leader in your family. Think about being a leader in the church. Think about being a leader in government. Think about being a leader. Think about being a leader of your own heart. I will statements. Okay, so leadership 101, according to David, because I would offer that we all are leaders of something. We all have people that we feed into, that we mentor, that we raise up, that we are sowing into. So Leadership 101 starts with an absolute devotion to God. It starts out with, I will sing of mercy and loving kindness and justice to you, O God, I will sing. When you sing, you proclaim God's greatness. You share your testimony. You share your story. You share what you have walked through and who you know your God to be. When you share that testimony as a leader, you're actually leading people to the Lord. A good leader has to be devoted to God and also has to pave a way to relationship with God. So, David in this psalm first looks at his own inner being. What is he going to do? He is going to be completely devoted to the Lord. Then he takes it out one level or sphere of influence and he takes it into his family. What is he going to allow within his house, within his household, within his four walls? And then he takes it even one step further and he says, okay, but what am I going to allow in my kingdom? What is going to be acceptable within my kingdom? So we all have that same sphere of influence. We have our own vessel, our own body that we're responsible for. What the heart loves, the eyes will seek. Do we hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil? Do we mind our P's and Q's in terms of what we see, hear, and speak? I know that that is a constant enticement, honestly. It's fun sometimes, you know. You've really got to say, I won't. I'm not going to indulge in that. I will not indulge in gossip and slander. I will not indulge in judgment. I will not indulge in the newest thing that everybody's watching. I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear those things. That is a check on the guardrails of your heart of what you're going to allow in. And then what are we going to allow into our household, into our children, into our daily grind of what is wearing us down? What is it? What are we filling our house with? Our coffers with? What are we filling that with? And then what do we do for the environment? What are we doing outside of our walls in our community, in our churches? How are we then instilling this blameless heart into everything we do and everywhere we go? So David truly, truly does this leadership 101 of tiers of first we need to take care of us, then we need to take care of our house, and then we need to take care of our community, our nation, and our world. And when we can get ourselves right with the Lord, and when we can get to a place where we are so mindful of what we are allowing in and how we are completely walking a devoted lifestyle with the Lord, I think then that spills into our families and that's contagious. And then that spills into that next sphere of influence. And our families have different circles and it just keeps growing. But it has to start with us. It has to start with me cleaning my own backyard and my own heart and my own house and me getting right with the Lord first. And David got that. And David made mistakes, but David always went before the Lord on his knees and begged for forgiveness and was forgiven because he is a child of the King. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week in Psalm 102. Bye.